Although it may seem complicated, setting up with Avid Media Central is actually fairly straightforward when you have all the correct information. Right now, I'm going to show you where to get that information and how to get set up with Cinedeck and Avid Media Central. Before I get started, you can find all of this information listed on our Confluence in the Client Settings configuration. Now, if we go into the client and we open up the record settings, you should see in here Avid Interplay Setup. If you check the enabled box, you should see 4 fields that you need to fill out: username, password, URI, and URL. The username and password should be the username and the password that you use to access the Interplay server, but you want to make sure that that user has read and write permissions. On the left, you'll see 2 checkboxes. The first one is multi-res proxy. If that box is checked, then Media Composer will see the primary and proxy file as the same clip. The second checkbox is for edit while record, and you want to check that if you want to be able to edit growing files in Media Composer as they are ingesting. For the URI, you want to start by typing interplay and then a colon, // and then we're going to need to put in the name of our work group. To find out the name of your work group, in a browser, type in your web services IP address. If you click on View Configuration, you'll see the workgroup name listed in the upper left-hand corner. This is the name that we want to use as part of the URI. So I'm going to take that name and I'm going to put that in here, followed by a /. Now for the last part, we're going to open up Avid Interplay Access. And if you take a look at the folders on the left, you should see a folder called Incoming Media. Now you want to decide where you want to write your new files. If you'd like to write them to the root of Incoming Media, go back to the Cinedeck configuration and just type in Incoming Media. If you'd like to write them to a folder within Incoming Media, then after Incoming Media, put a / and then the name of that folder. So going back to Cinedeck, I would type in /incoming media /Cinedeck because that's the folder that I want to use. And lastly, for the URL, we're going to type in http:// followed by the web services IP address, followed by a colon, and then the port number, which is usually port 80. Checking your port number is a little more complicated, but you can find documentation on it in the Confluence article that I mentioned earlier. And after the port, you want to put in /services/assets. And that's it. You've now configured your Cinedeck to work with Media Central. Now to test this, all you have to do is start a recording. And if you're using Interplay Access, when you go to the software, if you refresh by pressing F5, you should see that the new clip that you just started recording shows up at the top of the interface. And if I stop that clip and start another one, when I go back to Interplay Access, I should see a new clip again. Right here. And similarly, if you're using Media Central Cloud UX, you should see the clip show up as it's recorded on the Cinedeck, and you should even be able to play it back as it's recording.